today you join me from the driver's seat of a 2015 Ford Focus MK3 ST3. So this is the Mark III shape, the newest version out of the ST. It's got the 2-litre turbocharged EcoBoost engine, producing around 250 brake horsepower from the factory. This one itself has the Aortic front mount stage 2 intercooler on it. It has a K&N induction kit. It has a Dreamscience decatted 3-inch exhaust system, which sounds fantastic as you roll on. There's a better kick from standard. Now, I've actually been in and driven a completely standard one of these a couple of months ago, and it was very, very nice to drive. And I'm getting the same sensation straight away from jumping in this car. What a beautiful place to be. Now, from, you know, a Ford sort of perspective, this being the sporty version, it's going to have the Recaro seats in it, which I'm usually a bit of hit and miss on, but these seats, I tell you, if I could rip them out and put them in my house, I bloody would. I think they're lovely to sit in. Got fantastic bolster support from both sides, but more than comfortable enough to fit your back in. I always like to jump in these cars, especially a standard car with, you know, the sportier seats, and be shocked at how nice the front seats are. They've got a great feel, and you know, if you're a little bit larger, I think you'd fit fantastically. The back sort of up here, if you've got a bit of a wider back and a wider shoulder, sort of supports that as well. Obviously, with a lot of other bucket seats you find in cars, you'll find yourself sort of sat on the seat rather than in it. With this one, you're completely sat in the seat. So as you jump in the car, you are straight away greeted with this flat bottom racing steering wheel, which has got a great feel. So it's got a bit of padding on it as well, so you can sort of grip it a little bit tighter if you fancy, as you give it a bit of shit, which is always good. You have the Ford Infotainment system up here with a digital screen that controls all your heating, all of your aux input. It's got USB input. It also supports iPhone as well, which for me is a big thing. I love jumping in cars to find out that they support, you know, your phone, because at the end of the day, that's where your music comes from most of the time. So you're able to pull your music up there. And this one has the upgraded Sony sound system as well, so it's got a sub in the back, which sounds fantastic. Now, the suspension, although a little bit more sporty than, you know, a normal Ford Focus, it's very comfortable, and, you know, I don't think you would get that bored of, you know, the sporty feel from this car, especially if you're driving it every day. I think this car is the perfect car for sort of commuting, and then when you get to a nice B road, let her fucking have it. That Dreamscience 3-inch exhaust system, decatted with a 3-inch full stainless steel exhaust system with a fantastic tipped back box at the back. I really like that. I think that's a better look for the car, especially back box style. I prefer the big exhaust tips rather than sort of, you know, the figure 8 bit that it comes with as standard. This has also got sort of a screamer styled back box to it, which, you know, has a pipe off the side. So when you do start going through the turbo, you get a sort of deep scream from the car. Which sounds proper pucker. This one itself is running around 300 brake horsepower. It is getting mapped very soon, so you have a true figure on the other side, but the power delivery itself is instant, so there's no lag, which is very nice. But you do come on it, you get a little cheeky bit of torque steer. Nothing to write home about though. You know, I think I've driven a lot worse. Now, I know a lot of people, and I've read reviews and watched reviews saying that the torque steer is a bit too much for a standard car, but I've driven a lot worse. I've driven a lot worse. So to me, I don't think the torque steer is actually that bad from, you know, a newer car with a little bit more brake horsepower than standard going through the front wheels. But I think it controls the torque steer. It's not, you know, trying to snatch you all over the road and stuff. I love that there's a boost gauge as well. I think that's so cool. So a little second gear pull for us. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh my god. Now, there's a fantastic procedure of putting the car into sport mode. You sort of push the skiddy car bit off down here, that button, and you let it load on the screen. Wow. Oh my god. Oh wow, the power is unbelievable. It feels fantastic as you sort of go through the gear and through the rev into the boost. It's got that great exhaust note behind it groaning away. When you actually do start coming through the gear and through the rev and you drop it into the next one, it's so quick. The clutch itself is very soft, very easy to get used to. And Tom himself is 21. He bought the car brand new in 2015 in this tangerine scream as well colour, which I think is awesome. It's a very, you know, as we remember from the Top Gear episodes, a very Asbo sort of colour, but I think it works fantastically and it puts, you know, the ST sort of colours on the map, in my opinion. You want it to be sort of leery if you're going to have, you know, something a bit more exciting, I think, in your life. So guys, here we are in the majestic location. Fantastic ST behind us. Let's have a look around this Ford Focus ST. Now, straight away, paintwork, the tangerine scream is a bit of me. I like the fact that this colour is an option, and on the STs it's a very Asbo sort of good time in my book. So obviously you can get the greys and the blues and stuff, but to me, I think this is the colour I would go for. It's a little bit leery, it's a little bit different. And I think it's in keeping with the ST sort of theme. The first, you know, STs, you know, in the orange really did it for me. I loved that colour. So this is sort of the next generation of that orange. So I'm a huge fan of that. Styling wise, again, huge fan. At the end of the day, this is a Ford Focus. You know, the styling wise, I think is so good for something that's readily available that anyone can, you know, sort of jump in and get a chance to own and drive. Styling wise, I think it's very contemporary looking. It looks really good. It's sort of evil at the front. As you come down, it's got these great little bits coming down, like sort of an aftermarket splitter style, but it's a standard. The honeycomb grille, big mouth on it, looks very aggressive with the lights coming up both sides. Some lines in the bonnet as well. Coming around the side, you've got these anthracite grey wheels with the red brake calipers, the Goodyear Eagle F1s doing a great job on this car. I do like the grey with the orange sort of paintwork. I think that works really well. Obviously with the tinted windows, sort of brings it all together. This bit of style does it for me though. You have the backlight that goes sort of round, but it comes out and then shoots down the car a little bit. And I like that. I like the look that that's sort of cut into the car. Forms a good shape with, you know, the door and the boot. And, you know, if you come to look at this sort of side, it cuts down, you know, down like that. And then you look at that side and it cuts down like that. Really big fan of that part. Obviously with the skirts, you've got this fantastic spoiler here with little cutouts in there. Very race, do like that. Got side skirts going down the side. So all sort of as a package looks a lot better. If you were to put this next to obviously the standard Ford Focus, you would definitely notice that this was the ST. You've also got a big boot. You've got more than enough room in the back. Even as my seat is quite far back, you could still get, you know, a fully grown adult in there. These Recaro seats, absolutely lovely looking. Got a little Iron Man in there to go with it. And jumping inside, you're met with, to me, a beautiful looking interior. I really like it. This is a Ford Focus and it looks this good. You've got a flat bottom steering wheel with the ST on the steering wheel there. All your, you know, controls for your phone, up and down, voice controls. You've got your cruise control this side, and obviously where you can sort of go through the computer that side. You've got these fantastic seats. I am a huge fan of these. Not only supportive in the bolsters, but got a great feel, you know, when you're in the car. Got a lovely looking armrest there as well, which you're able to move backwards and forwards. Huge fan of that. And as we jump inside, it's got a great look from obviously the driver's point of view. It's got these fantastic dials, the stop and start engine button there. So if we bring the ignition on, you're met with this beautiful looking Ford sign that comes up. You've got everything there. I'll shut the door, shall I? I love the fact that you've got a screen up here that tells you your mile an hour, you know, and you can sort of go through the computers and stuff with the controls on the steering wheel. You've got obviously the radio, your iPhone connectivity, a compass, which is pretty cool. You've also got heated seats, dual zone climate control, air conditioning, but this is the button that really does it for me. It's more of a sort of sport, but you know, it turns everything off, makes it more, you know, of a sporty car to drive. This one I absolutely hate, I'm not gonna lie. That's the stop start button, which I do not understand in this car. Now, I'm gonna bring it in for the viewers now. Let me know in the comments, right now, pause the video, let me know in the comments what you think of that. Now, stop start in this car is a bit of a funny one to me, because obviously if you're hooning it around and that's still on, shouldn't it not be on because of the turbo? If you've got, you know, you've been having it large in the car and the turbo's very hot, you don't want to turn it off straight away at the traffic lights, do you? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. It's something that, you know, me and the owner discussed, and I didn't see why that's still there, because you don't want to damage the turbo. And I know a lot of people will probably think, you know, that's not going to damage the turbo, it's a brand new car. But in 10, 15 years, when these are a bit cheaper, are you going to find problems with the turbos because of that button, because the car shuts off? One of those things to think about. Put in the comments what you think about that. But back to the review. But yeah, you've got the cluster up here for your boost and your bar and your oil and stuff like that. And coming under the bonnet, you've got a little bit of heat wrap here to go with the K&N induction kit there. You've got the Aortic front mount, as you can just see behind the grille there. And Tom's also had the covers in the engine bay hydro dipped by Andy at Isle of Wight Hydro Dipping. Shout out to him, absolute legend. Very good job there. Obviously these are black plastic as standard, and to me, I think doing, you know, something little like that sort of brings up the engine bay a little bit, especially this sort of carbon Kevlar look. So yeah, all in all, I'm a huge fan. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about this car. Now, this is the newest performance Ford I've ever done, and I am blown away at how good this car is. You've obviously got the RS, and you've obviously got the Mustang as well, which I'm a huge fan of, and if anyone's got one out there, I want to bloody drive it. I want to go and see one. I personally want one myself, so that's another story. But yeah, all in all, awesome car. So, as you roll on the power, oh wow! The speed, the pace, the little bit of torque steer feels unbelievable. You have that fantastically beautiful soundtrack from the Dreamscience exhaust system wailing away at the back. Average fuel is 23.9, and I know that Tom uses this car properly, you know, does a bit of B-roading, does a bit of commuting here and there, so that's a good figure. So overall, what are my thoughts on this Focus ST? To be honest, I'm really happy with it. I love the fact that it's so comfortable. I love the fact that it's so powerful and so much fun to drive, really, at any point. At any point of this shoot, I have been so happy to be driving this car. It's not a trouble to, you know, get the power out of it. There's no wait for it at all. You're just in the lap of luxury. It's so nice in here to drive, to be in. It's so comfortable, the seats are fantastic, it's got every single optional extra you could ever want. So why not? Why wouldn't you get one? So guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one. Cheers guys!